Hello everyone, my name is Chris McBrien. I'm going to be presenting over learning contracts for college students. Through this presentation, I will cover what learning contracts are, how learning contracts are currently used both in and out of the classroom, and what student learning looks like outside of the classroom. Then I will discuss the benefits of learning contracts outside of the classroom, and finally I will conclude with the future implications that should be considered moving forward to incorporate learning contracts in higher education outside of the classroom. Learning contracts look in many different forms depending on the university or department using them. Through the differences, learning contracts all have a similar purpose in higher education. Learning contracts both in and out of the classroom provide a structured learning experience. The student and staff or faculty member knows exactly what to expect through the process as an agreement was set early on through the contract. A learning contract will detail how the content will be acquired by a learner. Through this, the learner will be able to plan the process to reach the end goal. For example, students who are needing to appeal financial aid status through a satisfactory academic plan, or SAP, will outline exactly what classes they plan to take and when. This is outlined in a contract, which is then acknowledged by both the student and the student affairs practitioner. Because of the process of students outlining and setting the learning contract, students are encouraged to become more self-directed in their actions, owning their education and decisions. Learning contracts are also unique in that they focus on the students' strengths versus their weaknesses. Learning contracts allow a student to focus on their strengths through the process as the students are outlining what and how they want to achieve certain goals or requirements. Instead of focusing on their weaknesses, students are more likely to be successful and remain motivated along the way. When researching the topic of learning contracts, you will see that learning contracts outside of the classroom also go by other names such as academic contracts or success contracts. Learning contracts inside the classroom have many similarities to learning contracts used outside the classroom. Learning contracts inside the classroom are typically seen in the form of a syllabus. The syllabus is a learning contract between the professor and the students for the semester in the class. It will outline all the information the student and the professor will need to know in the class moving forward, such as how to contact the professor, deadlines, policies, etc. Learning contracts in the classroom are more likely to engage a student in the learning process as it often involves the student in the decision-making process. In order to understand how to use learning contracts outside of the classroom, higher education practitioners should first understand how a student learns outside of the college classroom. Approximately 70% of student learning occurs outside of the classroom environment. The learning outside of the classroom focuses on life skills that a student will need no matter what point in life or what field they study or work within. For example, outside of the classroom, students learn about themselves and about their culture and different cultures from them. Through the outside learning, students are able to gain confidence in themselves, build their self-esteem, and often display altruistic values. Much like learning contracts inside the classroom, learning contracts outside of the classroom create a sense of engagement, accountability, commitment, and motivation for the students. Learning contracts outside of the classroom will focus typically on academic performance or improving the academic performance for a student. Through creating a learning contract, students are more likely to follow a commitment. When a student is involved in the process of creating a learning contract, they are often more likely to feel a connection to the decisions made and follow through with the commitment and attend necessary sessions or outlined resources. Examples of learning contracts vary widely in the look, feel, and use of the contract. Each office or department that uses a contract will vary slightly in the purpose of the contract in order to achieve their mission and best serve their students. Much like inside the classroom, student affairs offices can utilize syllabuses as an agreement and understanding between students and the staff members in office. Financial aid commonly uses a SAP appeal mentioned earlier, which is an agreement with the students and the financial aid department and academic advisors that if the student takes the courses as outlined and agreed upon, the financial aid office will continue to award financial aid. The student is then understanding if they stray from the plan and contract, they will lose their financial aid opportunities. Similar to financial aid, departments or advising can use learning contract as an agreement for students on academic probation as a plan to work towards getting off of academic probation and back on academic good standing. Benefits of learning contracts in the classroom and outside of the classroom are similar. The student is the one who will benefit the most from a learning contract. Learning contracts allow for accountability with the student as they have a document to go back and compare what they should be doing and how they should be progressing. Learning contracts, because they can be altered for each student and situation, they're able to meet the needs of all students and learning styles for students. In the future, higher education practitioners should utilize learning contracts both inside and outside of the classroom to benefit and build the student. Through adding learning contracts, students will be owning their education and could potentially improve retention through the efforts. In order to implement learning contracts early and often throughout a student's college career, contracts should be considered during new student orientations. Through new student orientations, the student can learn and make a commitment to the university, academic advising departments, etc., to what they feel would be necessary to aid in their transition from high school to succeeding through college. Learning contracts outside of the classroom should be considered a working document in which a student can edit and modify their plan for success as their goals, motivations, and commitment change throughout their college career. Here you will see additional resources that can be used in creating and using learning contract. I thank you for your time. Here you'll see the references I used in gathering research in this presentation. Thank you.